excited to be here tonight?
Because I'm just excited.
Yeah. No other explanation. Now, I do believe, tell me the truth, is it true that your dad has a ringside seat but didn't get you guys ringside seats?
That is true, but it's because of his YouTube channel, okay? It's his YouTube, okay?
Her dad's an influencer. Let him go, guys. But your dad's awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, he's awesome.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. Dubby.
Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive pop with Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Pre-Party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jake Callen. Each and every Tuesday, we come to you, that hashtag NWA fam, to talk all things NWA. Shout out to Rosville, your NWA internet champion. Dude, he tipped the show, man. Tip the freaking show. That doesn't happen very often, and I have to share my gratitude, Roswell. Thank you so much, bro. I do appreciate that. Of course, this is a podcast by the NWA fans for the NWA fans, and every Tuesday we talk NWA, and today is no different at all. I'm seeing some chiming in the chat. I want to say hello to my friends here. You could join us, youtube.com/The Alliance Blog. We're also on Kick. We're also on Twitch. And right now, we're also streaming live on TikTok. Although I keep telling them on TikTok, the better show is on YouTube. But hey, whichever makes you happiest. Steve G is in the house. Willie Bowen's in the house. Here we go. J Cal, Tyrus has a seafood addiction. Every time he sees food, he has to eat it. He sees the food, and he eats it. Freaking Tyrus. Didn't even save me any. Steve G's in the house. Bobby Matito's here. What's going on? Devin Dowling. Double D. Undefeated in fantasy. Double D, you might need to get yourself a trophy of some sort to commemorate your 11-0 start to the season. Like a replica title belt from our friends over at Trophy Smack. Might be the way to go for you. Let's see. Noob is in the house. What's going on, Noob? Bobby Batito. Let's see. I see Danny Limelight this Saturday. Double D, what's going on this Saturday? Is that the show out in Waterton? That's going to be an awesome event. I'm really looking forward to it. I won't be there, obviously. I'm here in Southern California. I'm not going to get to watch it, but I'm waiting on bated breath for the results of that show. Bobby says Danny Limelight is a great talent wrestler in the ring. Dodie says, Dodie, our friend from, I almost said India. That's not correct. That's not Indonesia, not India. Very different places. My apologies, Dodie. Dodie says, ready? If Billy never bestows Natalia with any of the NWA championships, we riot. I mean, now is as good a time as any, right? But I still think Markova is going to be challenging for the women's world title at Looks at Kill. I mean, it's literally a themed pay-per-view for her. That's her tag team. Brian Idol, Natalia Markova, Looks at Kill. When there's a themed pay-per-view, I feel like there's a reason for that theme. We saw 312 with Tyrus, and of course, other events similarly. JCC in Watertown, New York, United Wrestling Network, Hollywood Wrestling is coming. I'm excited for you, man. Double D, send me some photos when you're there. I would like to see it. I wish I could have made it. I have traveling plans later the next day. I'm leaving. I won't be here next week. In fact, we'll have a special content for you next week. We'll have a special episode of the pre-party, and that will be interesting because the pre-party next week will feature our very own DKM. I hope you guys will hang out with us in the chat next week. I won't be here, but DKM will be here. And I'm very excited for that. I think you guys will have a good time hanging out with Mr. Mercer in the chat. Some more of your comments. Let's go. You guys are all over it today. It's hard to keep up, but I'm here. I'm trying to stay up with you guys. Your thoughts on NWA wrestler Jackson Drake getting WWE ID? Well, look, let's talk about that for a second. Jackson Drake has had a few appearances in the National Wrestling Alliance, but Jackson Drake is not really what I would consider an NWA wrestler. I don't think he is going to be a part of the NWA, and especially going forward, I don't think he was somebody that had signed an exclusive contract with the NWA like we've seen some of the others. And that's kind of the beauty or the drawback of the NWA's contract deals, and it's kind of part of the beauty of the WWE ID program. We're going to see a lot more independent talent locked up to the World Wrestling Entertainment in I said locked up. That's not the right word. Under kind of a deal that allows them to work other places. People over on TikTok think I look like Kevin Owens. It's true. I do kind of look like Kevin Owens. Now, for the Turkey Takedown, which is the event that's happening for the United Wrestling Network that our good pal Devin Dowling will be at, they're going to feature talent from the United Wrestling Network. The former NWA World Heavyweight Champion and current TNA Hall of Famer Rhino will be there. The wrestler formerly known as Elijah will be there. Former NWA enhancement talent D-Man Parker will be on hand. I think there's going to be a few other people there. Of course, Danny Limelight will be defending the United Wrestling Network World Championship against a WWE ID talent, and I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's like Gal something or other. But yeah, check that out if you guys are in the area. If you're in upstate New York, that's obviously what's a pretty cool event that's happening. And of course, supporting our friends over at the United Wrestling Network is always a good deal. Let's talk about NWA Texas, and we can all act like we're excited about Dog Pound joining the NWA. Chris Drummond, man, why are you such a spoil sport? Why can't we be excited about Dog Pound? A lot of talents from the NWA started off in Dog Pound. Soda Pop Hendricks, it came direct from Dog Pound. Of course, Jazz and why did I forget his name? Jazz and Red Dog. Why? What is Red Dog's name? Why is my brain not functioning correctly? Anyways, they are training talents at Dog Pound, and a lot of those talents have been showcased in the NWA. They have been bestowed upon the honor of being a member of the National Wrestling Alliance. They're the first promotion from Texas to be Rodney Mack. Before you guys get to me, yep, you got it. Roswell just got it. Rodney Mack. Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, so they're the first official territory of the National Wrestling Alliance in Texas. Now, what this does for the NWA, certainly not only does it expand its reach, but I mean, I believe there's at least one other promotion in Texas, and I've heard as up to 2 more promotions could be represented by the NWA in Texas. We know Dog Pound Wrestling that's locked up. That announcement came this past weekend. But we've also heard rumblings, tumblings, and scrumblings about Texas style wrestling, which has kind of already announced it themselves. But the official Billy announcement hasn't come yet. The official announcement from either Billy or my brain stopped working today. Not Kyle Davis, but Joe Galley has not come yet. Fiona says, I hear that might be January. Yeah, TSW. And of course, we're talking about TSW has kind of already jumped the gun a little bit, has made overtures that they are part of the NWA. Now, of course, TSW has that relationship with James Beard. James Beard, formerly of the last regime, had a lot of authority within the International Wrestling Corporation ownership version of the NWA. Helped Bruce Tharp kind of collect and round up some of those promotions. Also, a good friend to Tim Storm. They've been known to be traveling partners. They're buddies. So I've always said this, that you're not going to just see every single wrestling promotion get an opportunity to join the NWA. You have to have some sort of extra credence, some extra connection, some extra relationship with the NWA, specifically if you got it with Billy. But if you don't have it with Billy, then it would at least have to be somebody that Billy trusts and that Billy can believe in. And I don't think that there's anyone on the roster more dedicated to the NWA than Tim Storm. So that relationship with James Beard and Texas style wrestling makes a lot of sense. Although that hasn't been officially announced yet. Fiona says, I haven't been to the OC, their new venue, but the old setup and shows in Addison were good. The OC, I was there for the Crockett Cup, a great venue for pro wrestling. The NWA did not know how to outfit that building correctly. Fans were on top of fans. It was uncomfortable. It wasn't set up well for production. When I've seen the shows for the OC Theater that are not NWA-themed shows, looks great. Whoever designed the seating arrangements for the Crockett Cup should have been fired because it was awful. But I do believe the OC Theater is a great venue for wrestling, having been there myself. And, of course, we do have that event that's coming up soon. So that would give us, when that announcement comes, Fiona thinks it'll be January. I also think it'll be at that January 11th event in Forney. That would give us two promotions representing the NWA. And, like, don't be surprised, don't be shocked that Dog Pound got the call first. When the NWA had the Return to the Territories event in Tennessee with Joe Kazana Promotions, remember, like, they used Soda Pop and referenced his time at Dog Pound and even mentioned it in passing that Dog Pound had an affiliation with the NWA. So, like, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever that they got the call first. I just think it's a little bit interesting that there was so much talk about TSW and Dog Pound got the first nod. But I really think that's a great get for the NWA. Of course, they're trying to build this territory system. Is in some ways it's kind of like the ID program, but instead of particular wrestlers, they're finding promotions. And the great thing about this, a lot of these promotions have schools attached to them. So they're constantly scouting talent for Power. They're constantly scouting talent for the main roster. In the meantime, you could be building all of these guys up. And I think this is really an interesting thing. And I think we've only tiptoed into what the NWA territory system is in 2024. And I think in 2025, we might see something a lot bigger. I mean, just this past Saturday, Exodus Pro, featured on the main YouTube channel for the NWA, already at 12,000 views that live stream. And I think that's really, really cool. I think that's indicative of the NWA and possibly bigger things for that channel. Devin Dallin, is there a promo code I could use for Trophy Smack at the Alliance blog? The Alliance blog. Rosville, I haven't watched the entire show yet, but I did see the main event, and I gotta tell you, little disappointed. Glad that it's continuing a storyline there, but I'm kind of disappointed. I really wanted to see a triple threat match between Richard Holiday, Tom Latimer, and of course the former champion EC3. And I would have liked to see someone walk away as the not new necessarily, but walk away clearly as the world's heavyweight champion. We did not get that. So it's a little bit of a bummer, you know? Dodie says, hi, Jay. It's time to campaign for Cyrus the Destroyer, TME, Jake Prater, Joe Helms, Jack Parker Jr., Kevin Lee Davidson, Attila Khan, and the Dawsons return to the NWA because Billy loves big guys, and so do we. I know some of those guys, and some of them might fit in with the NWA. Realistically, I feel like at this point, the NWA needs to figure out what it wants to be. And if it's going to be Billy's version of pro wrestling, I don't have a lot of great feelings about that. If it's Billy's version of the NWA, we can work with that. The Iron Shrek is here. What's up, Shrek? Willie's saying, did anyone see Exodus Pro this past Saturday evening? Let's see. Rick Del Santo's in the house. My guy, Rick Del Santo. I'm getting some weird beeps and sounds on there. You look like Kevin Owens. Actually, you look more like okay. All right. Thanks for that. Hey, Jeremy, I'm sorry it took me like 2 months to send the shirt out to you, but I finally got it in the mail. Glad you like it. Hope it fits well. It's a great shirt. A lot of shirts, but that one's a great one. Should be a fun show for sure. I think Double D's talking about the show in Waterton. I'm excited for that. Let's see. Tony said Rodney Mack, but I don't remember the last time he appeared for the NWA. Yeah, it's been a minute. Let's see. If Texas and Tennessee have two territories, I wish we could have WLW and SICW in St. Louis. You know, it might happen, but the thing is, Dodie, and that's kind of why I went off on it for a little bit. I think the path to territory is relationship with Billy. So, like, we do have NWA Chicago, which is essentially a Billy promotion that's booked by Brian Idol. Okay, that one is Billy's own promotion. It's kind of weird for him to own the territory and own the company, but whatever. I digress. Then you have, Joe Kazana Promotions, the relationship Joe Kazana has with the NWA. Joe Kazana has been providing the ring and a lot of the enhancement talent for the NWA over the past few years. So that makes sense. The Paige sisters, the Henry sisters, Kylie, Alexa, and Kenzie Paige representing the NWA over with Crossfire Wrestling. Again, that makes sense because there's a direct relationship with the NWA and Billy Corgan. And Exodus Pro, I can't forget them as well. Exodus Pro, literally the former world champion who has direct connection to the success of the NWA. You would understand why that makes sense. WLW is a little bit more of a leap of faith, but then again, WLW has kind of been that's not the right word, endorsed by Trevor Murdoch. And so if you are backed by Trevor Murdoch, who, again, two-time former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, current NWA World Tag Team Champion, and somebody who's meant a lot to this Lightning One era of the NWA, it kind of makes sense that they're a part of all of this. So, again, WLW backed by Trevor, not a hard bet. SICW, I don't see the correlation between SICW and the current NWA. I know in the past that there's been a relationship, but currently there's not really that connection. That doesn't mean there can't be. It just means currently I don't see that. And then, of course, Dog Pound, Rodney and Jazz. Jazz is a producer for the NWA. Rodney previously had worked for the National Wrestling Alliance, and they train talent who have been featured in the NWA currently. And then, of course, although FTW is not an official member of the National Wrestling Alliance, Brian Idol and Natalia Markova have a deep connection to the NWA as well. Wouldn't be surprised if in 2025 that officially becomes a territory. Let's see. More comments. The great Hisa is here. What's up, Hisa? Steve G says that Viva Van would be perfect for the NWA. I think she's kind of bigger than the NWA at this point, already making appearances at CMLL, AEW, ROH. New Japan Strong. I think the NWA would be better suited finding a talent who is more of a free agent and less connected to some of the top promotions. I mean, Jack Summit, aka Jack Cartwheel, was part of the WWE ID program. He's a former number one contender for the World Junior Heavyweight title. Of course, we don't know the results of Sao Wen yet, but I don't think he won the title. Just checking it out. Shrek maybe thinks EC3 still can't control his narrative. Nice, Shrek. The last match was odd, the change-up. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the swerve. Tiffany can thank Barbie Hayden for her character. Yeah, I mean, I see that, Steve G. I do. I agree with that one. Do you think WWE ID will scout any more NWA wrestlers? Bobby, they'd be a fool not to. I mean, look, the NWA talent early or all throughout 2024, we saw press releases or at least graphics indicating that talent had signed exclusive deals with the NWA. Guys like Silas Mason, gals like Danny B and Charity King, Ella Envy, Samantha Starr, the Southern Six. I mean, we saw these over and over again announcements that these talents had signed exclusive deals. But there are people who currently work with the NWA that are not under a contract. And when those contracts expire, man, if I'm Kerry Morton and the WWE wants to ID me, I don't know, man. I think I take it. I think I take that opportunity. I don't know anybody in the NWA who wouldn't benefit from a run with the WWE or being associated by the WWE with being that under that ID banner. Now, obviously, it's for up-and-coming talent. I don't think they're going to ID somebody like Mike Knox or Trevor Murdoch, guys who've already had their cup of tea, cup of coffee with the NWA. But it would be interesting if they did, right? Because I think Trevor Murdoch, man, could you imagine Trevor Murdoch in modern-day WWE? Be interesting. I pray that the WWE doesn't deplete the NWA wrestling roster. Willie, there's so much talent out there that I don't think that the WWE is looking exclusively to raid the NWA. Now, they might pick up one or two. Like, look, I feel like if the moment that Kenzie Paige loses the NWA Women's World Championship, I would venture to guess that she'll be heading towards something to do with the WWE, whether it be the ID program or getting locked up in NXT. I would not be surprised one bit. But I don't think they're going to raid the roster. The recently married Heather Monroe. Yeah, I mean, I always thought Heather Monroe was great. I don't know how frequently she wrestles these days. I know that when she moved to the Northeast, her bookings kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know what's going on with her right now. I don't even know if she's in the Northeast anymore. She might be in the Midwest. I have no idea. Bobby Matino brings up the Colognes. Former WWE World Tag Team Champions Epico and Primo, a.k.a. Orlando and Eddie, make their NWA debut tonight on Power against the tag team known as what were they called? I have it written down here. The Rewind Society, Samuel C. and VHS. Now, those two guys have had a couple of matches together as a tag team. They've wrestled primarily in Florida, one match with Coastal Championship Wrestling, and then, of course, two other matches with FTW. Now, FTW, again, has that NWA relationship. And we know whenever the NWA is in Tampa that they will probably call upon talent from FTW. So good little opportunity for those guys to get some face time with the NWA fans. And we'll see what the match looks like once it gets on TV. I haven't been in this chat for a long time, over a year or something. Well, hey, what's going on, Real J? We're streaming live here on TikTok and on YouTube. You can follow us on either channel. Talking wrestling. I want to see Cassandra Golden in the NWA. I'm not familiar with Cassandra Golden. Shrek says it's impossible to drain the NWA, Baba. You jabroni. Well, nobody's a jabroni here, but yeah, I get you. Like, the thing is the NWA is at that level where the talent, the good talent, is always going to rise to the top. And we see that right now. You know, Tom Latimer came in as a tag team wrestler. Tom Latimer came in as a flunky for Nick Aldis. You know, they put him and Royce Isaacs together in the wild card tag team tournament at the Crockett Cup in 2018 or 2018. They won the Battle Royal to get in. They ended up losing in the semifinals to who did they lose to? They lost to did they lose to the champions? I guess they lost to Brody King and PCO. So they made it to like the semifinals. Anyways, you know, the idea all along was to put the tag titles on them. Tom Latimer representing the NWA, Royce Isaacs brought over from the United Wrestling Network. Great little tag team, had a short run. Then the Strictly Business happened. Tom was just a lackey, right? A lackey for the world's heavyweight champion. But they developed Tom. Now, like, Tom is a Grand Slam champion, right? Like, Tom has done everything in the NWA. So now, Wrestle Rant, Mike Mayhem over here on TikTok, he says, what's your gut feeling on WWE only utilizing Nick Aldis as a GM? I don't think that Nick Aldis earned the WWE's respect in the ring. Because I think if they wanted him as a wrestler, they could have had him. I know that he tried to get a deal with AEW wanted him, and he was unwilling to be a small fish in a big pond. Could you imagine if that would have happened, though? Could you imagine if Maurice Lauren says that I look like Kevin Owens. I get that a lot, Maurice. And thanks for watching. I appreciate you checking us out. You're not on anymore, but thanks for watching when you did. I don't know that Nick Aldis, you know, had Nick Aldis gone to AEW while Cody was still around and then Cody left, I think Aldis might have gained some favor. You know, it might have been more of an attraction for AEW. Obviously, they look at Aldis, like, Aldis obviously has some talent, right? Like, just because he called me a ham sandwich jabroni doesn't mean I can't recognize the talent that he has. Obviously, he's a great promo. Obviously, Nick Aldis is a great wrestler. Obviously, he has like 5 tools. Now, he's never going to win your Meltzer's 5-star awards. Like, he's not going to put on a Mac Classic like a Bryan Danielson could. However, he is the kind of guy that you'd want in your wrestling promotion. He could get fans into seats. And I feel like if Aldis was going to be a wrestler for the WWE, they should have done it already. If Aldis was going to be a star in the WWE, they would have done it already. I mean, at what point now does it make sense? A feud with Adam Pearce? Like, Adam Pearce hasn't been active in the ring for like 14 years now. So it's kind of like does this really make sense? What's the draw for Nick Aldis versus Scrap Iron Adam Pearce? I mean, I don't hate the idea, right? I don't hate it because, you know, for a long time I championed that Adam Pearce was the superior world heavyweight champion. And I feel like if the WWE were to do that, it, you know, guys like us would probably pop for it, right? We'd probably be excited about it. But, I mean, I think for the greater audience, like, they don't care. You know, I don't think they really care. But we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. Ryan Davis is in the house. What's going on, Ryan? Willie Bowen says Cassandra Golden wrestled in United Wrestling Network. She was the Memphis Heritage Champion. Okay. So, I mean, look, getting back to it, I'm on TikTok right now too, guys. I've told you that. They're still saying I look like Kevin Owens. Every time someone comes by, it's like, hey, it's Kevin Owens. Hey, it's Kevin Owens. Yeah, I mean, look, I still think, yeah, I saw that video too, James. Speaking on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, Nick Aldis noted that his talent contract allows him to perform on screen. However, he is also an employee contract, which gives him producer designation. Yeah, I don't think Aldis signed on to be a wrestler. I you know, that it could happen. I'm sure it could happen. I'm sure it will happen. But I don't, you know, I'm not holding my breath for it. I think it'd be fun, but again, I think it'd be fun for people like us, NWA fans, because of the significance. Like, you know, I I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. I kind of wanted the NWA to have some sort of relationship with the WWE, because I think it would have been cool had the WWE allowed Adam Pearce to come to the NWA when Aldis was champion. And we could have had that moment where the former world's heavyweight champion, who had a lot of significance, took on the world heavyweight champion with a lot of significance. But they didn't. And obviously it doesn't matter. Lent, thank you, Mike. And for years now, when I hear the name Ricky Morton, all I can hear is Matt Hardy's voice. Nice. I still don't have a problem with Aldis and his being the GM. And Marie, I do read them. I got a lot of comments. Like the screen, you don't see it, but there's a ton of comments here. I'm trying to get to everybody. We're streaming on multiple platforms. We're on Kick, Twitch, TikTok, and we're on YouTube. You do post pay-per-view events or PP premium live events, the PLEs. I don't, Marias. I normally we this channel is more about the National Wrestling Alliance. Now we will talk about WWE from time to time. Sometimes we'll talk about AEW or MLW or the United Wrestling Network, but primarily this channel is a news and information podcast live stream for the National Wrestling Alliance. So I really don't, Maurice, but I appreciate you hanging out with us, and thanks for watching. You know you're blowing up big when you've got Suplex Media watching you on TikTok. Got WrestleRant, Suplex Media, some of my favorite content creators on TikTok are watching us right now. Bobby, thanks for liking the video. I do appreciate that. And the best way to help this channel grow is to like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment in the chat afterwards. Oh, and my best friend Joe. Joe just joined us live on TikTok. My dear friend Joe. Joe, we need to go to another wrestling show. I took Joe to see Mecha Wolf take on Chris Nasty at Valley Wrestling Connection. He also got to see Honest John there. WWE, AEW. Oh, Maurice, I'm a big Samoa Joe fan. Let's see. Here we go. We've got the Samoa Joe action figure right here. That's my guy. Samoa Joe's my guy. I've been watching Samoa Joe for almost 25 years now. The Iron Shrek says, tell Suplex Media they're a jabroni. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. Willie says WWE is a cutthroat pro wrestling promotion. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with that. Vince was very cutthroat to make it what it is. But, yeah. Maurice, you're going to get me off topic here. But, yeah, Lesnar and Samoa Joe, I wish that should have been a WrestleMania match. That should have been for the World's Heavyweight Championship. That should have been the match before Roman Reigns won the title. Samoa Joe deserved that WrestleMania moment, and he's definitely somebody that could have, should have, and would have given Brock Lesnar everything he had. All right, now back to some more of the NWA talk, because tonight is a big night for the NWA. Of course, I did want to point out something that it has been meant. I can't even talk anymore. It has been clearly stated now from the NWA office that X is the home of Power. Now, we speculated on where Power was going to go because it's kind of hard to see the benefit of being on a platform where there's such low ROIs. But, you know, to the NWA's credit, each episode of Power has had well over 50,000 views, and making it available on X, I think, has brought another audience into the NWA. So we're seeing, you know, a little bit of a renaissance for the NWA while being on X. Now, it's not my favorite social media platform. It's not my favorite place to watch video content, but it is what it is. And you have to give the NWA a little bit of respect for having this kind of reach on X. And they're still producing content for their YouTube channel, as we've seen. Even recently, they're still putting up matches exclusive to YouTube. They recently had the entire live stream of Exodus Pro. So, I mean, to put it lightly, they're kind of killing it on two different platforms right now. Now, it would be kind of cool if we could all watch Power on the NWA. Excuse me, if I messed up. It'd be cool if they could put Power on YouTube, but they don't. And, there's various reasons for that. But I think it's I think the idea is that if you put up single matches, 5 to 10 minute matches on YouTube, that content, like distribution for them, when people are consuming one match at a time, that means they're getting more views onto the channel. So I think that's a smart play. And if you see me laughing, it's because folks on TikTok still think I'm Kevin Owens, or at least go with the joke. Ren says, I thought you were Kevin Owens for a second. DJ Quality says, why you hurt Randy? That's fun. El Jefe is going to show everyone why he is the dominant one. James H. Jackson, of course, referring to tonight, the finale of the Family Jewels, Eric Smalls, Rolando. I'm very excited for this to be over, actually. I'm not a big fan of Eric Smalls or Rolando, and I probably would be if they quit delivering matches like this. I mean, why can't we have just straight up wrestling? Why does it have to be serenaded with silliness? Why do we have to have so much goofiness in the NWA? Like, the tagline is the NWA wrestling as it should be. But honestly, this isn't the wrestling I want to watch. This isn't the wrestling that my mom and dad watched. This isn't the wrestling that, my grandpa watched. I don't want to see this. This is stupid to me. And I wouldn't watch this with my kids either. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. And I don't know the storyline that it's trying to tell. Who is being elevated by this? I go back to Southern Six last week. We look at Southern Six. We look at Kyle Davis entering the ring for the first time in 14 years, teaming up with Colby Carino to take on Silas Mason and Kerry Borton. And it didn't make sense then. It doesn't make sense now. Who got over from that? Did Silas Mason, the Thrillbilly, did he become a bigger threat because he slammed Kyle Davis twice? No. It didn't do shit for him. It didn't elevate the Southern Six. It didn't elevate Colby Carino. And Kyle Davis is an announcer. We don't need him to be the guy. He doesn't have to be the guy. So you chose to cut your hair and style your beard like that without knowing of Kevin. DJ, bro, I've been doing this look longer than Kevin has. Check yourself. Some of the comments. Let's get back to it. Yes. Fiona says, me too, Jay. Yeah, because it's stupid. It doesn't elevate anybody. It's not even fun storytelling. If you could make it fun, I could suspend my neediness for it to make sense if you could make it fun. But you haven't done that either. Dear Lord, they posted this on YouTube and it just wasn't my thing, man. Yeah. This isn't wrestling. Little Jimmy wouldn't want to watch it. What's your thoughts on 6 matches per episode? I feel like it's too much for such a short show. Fiona, I noticed that they've started doing a few more squashes. So I don't hate that. Now, again, we're not paying for this. This is free content for us. So I don't feel like that I can complain too much. But I do feel like, sorry, someone said something on TikTok that made me laugh. DJ, you're hilarious, man. I'm going to give you a follow there. I do feel like the match quality suffers a little bit because they're trying to jam so much in, but I also think that's good. I think we need to have more squash matches, just to put the term lightly. If Jack Stane has a match and it's against somebody I've never heard of, he should crush him. And if it's somebody I have heard of, Jack Stane should still crush him. But, that's neither here nor there. I would like to see, if we're going to have this much wrestling, cool, let's make it meaningful wrestling. Let's build people up, or let's tell an excellent story. Let's do something. I wish we could do something with Spencer Slade. I like him. Target the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Slade is way undervalued, and he's my breakthrough for 2025. I think he'll be the next big thing out of the NWA, because I haven't felt like the NWA's done anything right with Spencer Slade yet. I do not have a dinosaur tattoo. A few squash matches are good to help get certain talents over. Yeah. I am not Kevin Owens. Jesus. Slade has refused to have anything to do with that Rolando segment, and good for him. I don't blame him. Look, there's so much potential for Slade. Spencer Slade is a damn good wrestler. Like, he's good. He's solid. And he's somebody that the NWA should get into building up. Now, there is a problem when you have Maxine Paler as your television champion. Now, Max has won 4 matches now on the best of 7 to get an opportunity to challenge Tom Latimer in the 10 pounds of gold. Now, Maxine Paler, we already know Max will be facing Carson Drake at Saw Win, the continuation of the storyline that we saw just last week actually, which I'm all about. I'm good with that. But unless Carson Drake is winning the title, I don't know why you're giving him a rematch against Max. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Thanks for the follow, everybody. Let's see. At this point, Baba, you are Kevin Owens. Thanks, Shrek. I do my best to keep the Canadian tradition proud. Sure, Maurice, go ahead. Ask away. While Maurice is coming up with a question, let's look further at the card for tonight because we do have some matches. I don't have the graphic for it, but we know that Natalia Markova will be getting a shot at the NWA Women's Champion, Kenzie Paige. Now, that's a matchup that's been in the works for some time. We know that the two have been obviously Markova has had a weird 2025 because instead of Markova getting an opportunity to chase either the tag titles or the TV title, Markova was put in her mixed tag team with Brian Idol, and they had a berth. They won a match to get an opportunity for the Crockett Cup. Now, I don't think that anyone thought Markova and Idol were going to win the Crockett Cup, but it was an easy way to put Markova out of the title hunt for the NWA. Now, Markova, who continues to impress, has good in-ring ability, has not had opportunity to chase the titles. So even when at the NWA Chicago event, she was in the TV title match, but we didn't really see number one, that match didn't make it to YouTube yet, but we didn't really see Markova get built up. And the one time she had a shot at Maxine Paler and the television championship, Max surrendered the title before the match, making it a non-title. So now that Markova, she won the Burke Invitational, and she does have an opportunity challenge for the Burke, the Women's World Championship. Now is a good time. We'll see if she can cash in tonight. And of course, we've seen a lot of Kenzie Paige. She's beaten everyone on the roster. And, the fact that she defeated Camille to win the title and has continued on that path, no one has touched her yet. And it's been over a year. So congrats to Kenzie Paige and being a dominant Women's World Champion. She's faced everyone on the roster. And now Markova gets her shot. Some comments from TikTok. Do you think EC3 will go after the OVW World Championship, or do you think EC3 is going to go back to TNA? I don't see EC3 going to TNA wrestling at all. I think that time is done. Let's see. Maurice, I did read both your comments. Of course you can make something for me. DM me on Twitch, and I'll respond to you later. Kind of doing a live stream right now, but I will respond to you later. Absolutely. Marie is a digital artist and draws stuff for Twitch streams, overlay screens, emotes, panels, banner, badges, models, etc. Yeah, Marie, sure. Check. I'd love to see something. That'd be great. Ryan Davis says, Carson Drake has the personality and a punchable face to be a great heel TV champion. He does. Now, personally, I preferred Carson Drake more when he was Jordan Clearwater. However, if this is the Carson Drake we're going to have, I mean, last week he celebrated not losing to Max. He celebrated not losing to Max. Let's put that into perspective. Not losing to the TV champion was what he was celebrating. In the chat on TikTok, Mike says, what do you think EC3 will do? I think EC3 is going to have a long run with the NWA, and I think EC3 will continue to be a thorn in Tom Latimer's side with the 10 pounds of gold. And I wouldn't be surprised if that title changes hands early 2025 with EC3 becoming world's heavyweight champion once again. EC3 already has the top belt in Ohio Valley. They view the 10 pounds of gold as their world title. There you go. I didn't necessarily know that because I know there was an OVW heavyweight title as well. So I didn't know that, but cool. On TikTok, they said, do you miss Eddie? If you mean Eddie Guerrero, I sure as heck do. He was one of my favorites. Bobby Vituto says, I'm rooting for Tiffany Nieves to be NWA Women's World Champion. I think she'll get her time too. Tiffany Nieves is currently the X's Pro Women's Champion. She has had opportunities for the title in the past, but it's been a while. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany Nieves will take on the winner of Markova and Kenzie Paige. Willie says, J-Cal, will there be any other lady wrestlers from Mission Pro or NWA territories coming to challenge Kenzie Paige for her Burke title? Well, the thing about Mission Pro is it's on like indefinite hiatus. I don't know if they're even going to still exist. Mission Pro was a great platform. Brian Cervantes and Thunder Rosa put together a group of specifically women's wrestlers to kind of showcase girl power. It was kind of like the Empowered pay-per-view before the Empowered pay-per-view. And I think collecting that much talent, a lot of those talents ended up going to AEW. Sky Blue, one of them who did work a little bit with the NWA, went on to AEW. The Renegade Twins, former Mission Pro Tag Team Champions and NWA Women's Tag Team Champions, also got scouted to the Ring of Honor. And NXT's Ren Sinclair was the NWA's Maddie Rinkowski, who former women's tag team champion, but she also was afforded the opportunity to head to NXT. So I don't know for sure if we do have a Mission Pro anymore, but I do absolutely see more women coming from the territories. Big Mama just won the television championship a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, in NWA Chicago. I don't think she made it for the Tampa tapings, but we might see her at Saul Win, or we'll definitely. Not definitely, I don't know, but we'll probably see her show up at the tapings in January. And Soto, I don't think I'm gonna be at the January 6th Raw taping. January 6th, not a good day for me, but we'll see. Derek, bro, I thought you were Kevin Owens. I get that a lot. Markova should be the next women's champion, or Kylie Paige. Now see, that's very interesting. I mean, there's a pretty cool take on both of those. I feel like with Markova, I think Markova's time is going to come at the Looks at Kill pay-per-view. I think that's when she's going to win. I say pay-per-view, I mean signature live event. I think that's where she's going to finally get her title moment, her victory. But Kylie Paige, I still think Kylie Paige might be the best talent in the NWA women's division right now. She's young, she's hungry. When I was her age, I was throwing rocks at my neighbor Robbie Joyner. So seeing her at this level, competing at such a high level, she is the Joe Kazana Promotions women's champion. I think very highly of Kylie Paige, Kylie, Alexa, Kylie Henry, whatever you want to call her. I think she's going to be the future of the NWA women's division and possibly the future of wrestling's women's division, whether it be AEW and TNA or WWE. I think she has a bright future ahead of her. Bobby Petito says, will Jay Spade ever get to challenge for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship? I love it, Bobby. I love it. Not only is Jay Spade now leaning into it, but he's posting on X about how he's the longest reigning number one contender for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship, and I'm here for it. I think it'd be awesome if he got that shot. It's kind of funny that you're developing these two territories in Texas, and there was that very close relationship that the NWA had with Wildcat. I don't know what happened but I don't think that relationship still exists. I don't think they're partnering together anymore. Of course, that Wildcat has been a thing in and of itself with right now Luke and his son PJ are now feuding, and things are getting kind of kind of crazy down there in Wildcat. But that would be another excellent promotion that I'd love the NWA to be a part of. And I would love to see Jay Spade get that shot at the junior heavyweight title. Alex Taylor, Jay Spade, book it for Forney. Let's go. Fiona said, bloody hell, my Alexa heard you talk about Kylie and just give me a rundown of Kylie Minogue's biography. Hey, Alexa, play the Alliance Blog podcast. Tell me if that affected your Alexa device. Maurice, I'll check that DM in just a bit. All my devices are being utilized right now, but I will. I'll definitely look forward to that, Maurice. I still hope to see more of Mo Jabari on the NWA 2 before WWE or TNA sign him. Mo Jabari impressed. I mean, he had that great match with Kerry Morton, and then he had that match. I think it would. I don't remember who he wrestled the second time, but yeah, I'd like to see Mo Jabari come into the NWA. Come back to the NWA. Dodie says, losing Wildcat and the Hawks, I'm still lamenting the biggest loss of the NWA. As much as I'm a fan of La Rebellion, and if you go to our sister channel, Veamos Lucha Libre, I put up the hair versus hair match. It's a little bit dicey, but I put up that match from the Crash on our Veamos Lucha Libre channel. As much as I love La Rebellion, I think it was the right time and the right place at Hard Times. Was it 2 or 3? I don't remember now. They should have put the tag titles on Luke and PJ. Even if it were for them to drop them back at another point in time, it would have been a great moment for the Hawks. It would have been a great moment for the Chalmette crowd. And honestly, it wouldn't have hurt La Rebellion to take that loss. And then they could have been a 3-time NWA World Tag Team Champions. Over on TikTok, they keep asking me, why did I attack Randy Orton? Amazing. Bobby says he's wrestled against Colby Carino before. Okay. Fiona, I do too, and that's part of the reason why I go to TJ so much is to see, going to Tijuana, going to the Crash, I've been able to see a lot of Basia and Mecha Wolf's matches. I was there for the Caballo con Caballo, the hair versus hair match. It was a great match, and that, like I said, it's up on our sister channel, Veamos Lucha Libre. I have that match posted, and yeah. All right, so let's get to the rest of Power before we run out of time. In action tonight, we have Alex Taylor. Doesn't indicate that he'll be defending the title, doesn't indicate who his opponent is, so I imagine this might be a bit of a little squasharoo for Alex Taylor, putting some work in leading up to Saul Wynn when he takes on Jack Summit, a.k.a. Jack Cartwheel. EC3 will be in action. Again, this will probably be yet another squash match for the former World Heavyweight Champion. If you guys did not see Exodus Pro this past Saturday, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NWA, under the live events. EC3 and Tom Latimer and Richard Holiday were supposed to be battling for the World Heavyweight title. That match changed, unfortunately, kind of a bummer. Also tonight, like I said, we have Markova versus Kenzie Paige for the title. We also have the It Girls defending the tag team titles against Caribbean Flow. This will be the first time Ella Envy and Samantha Starr defend the titles. Obviously, perennial challengers Ruthie J and La Rosa Negra will be battling to get those tag titles. And, I really do think that the NWA Women's Division is lacking. Nothing against Ruthie J and La Rosa Negra, but we've seen them in this role multiple times getting these shots for the titles, and I don't know that they deserve them. I don't see what has happened, what they've done to earn that title shot. And, I get for the sake of wrestling, the sake of the program, you want to have the best talent, but I feel like there should be a path to the titles. I don't think anyone should just be handed a title match. Last week we saw Cade and Murdoch. No, that's not the right tag team at all. Knox and Murdoch. Yikes. Sorry about that. Knox and Murdoch defended the tag titles against two of the Funkin' Conservatory students, Dory Funk's students from the Funkin' Conservatory. And it's just like, why did they get a title shot? Doesn't make any sense to me. Willie tried to explain it that, well, they're a tag team with some ambition and you know, Murdoch's always wanted to defend the titles. But there should be a path. There should be some quality control. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry deserves a title shot. And not every Beatrice that shows up deserves a shot at the Burke. And I want the NWA to vet these title matches. Build these guys up. Build them up. Let's see some wins and losses contribute to their opportunities. Because anybody that just shows up should be getting a title shot. I feel like that diminishes the quality of your champion, and it diminishes the quality of the title matches that you're getting. Build it up. I literally had 5 people just say, hey, it's Kevin Owens on TikTok. All right, guys. You guys crack me up. Bobby Bettito says, I saw that Ice Williams got WWE ID'd. Am I familiar with Ice Williams' work? Well, Ice Williams had spent a little bit of time with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood prior to the pandemic. I saw him have a nice little match with Peter Avalon. He also had appeared for Future Stars of Wrestling and had recently been working with Reality of Wrestling and Booker T. I think he's a great talent. He is young. If there was a junior heavyweight division in the WWE, a cruiserweight division like they used to have, it would make a lot of sense for that guy. But they don't. So guys like him and Jack Cartwheel, I feel like, without a cruiserweight division, I don't know what you're going to do with them. But, that's not my problem. That's the WWE's problem. I'm happy that he got ID'd. I think, again, I don't know what that entails, but hopefully it's more money in his pocket and he can continue to work the indies until opportunity arises at the NXT or he signs elsewhere. But I'm happy for everyone that gets ID'd. I haven't seen a single name right now, and I'm like, nope, they didn't deserve it. I either don't know the person or I'm happy for them. So, but that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Tuesday. We'll be back on Thursday for another episode of the Alliance Guys podcast. Me, Jaden, and DKM will be talking all things NWA. We'll probably talk about other things like favorite ice cream flavors or a favorite heavy metal band from the 80s. You'll never know for sure what we're going to talk about. If you enjoy this live stream, the best way to support it is to like, comment, subscribe, leave comments in the chat. After the video on YouTube, leaving a comment helps with the algorithm, helps us be seen by more people. We're nearing 5,600 subscribers on YouTube, and that number seems to grow every day, and that's thanks to you guys in the community that you've helped me build. So like, comment, subscribe, please. If you want to help support financially, I mean, you could leave a tip like our pal Rosville did earlier in the show, or we have products, merchandise available on our merchandise store. The link is in the video description. We have hats, T-shirts, all kinds of fun stuff. If you are in need of a trophy for your fantasy sports team or your business to recognize Employee of the Month, Student of the Month, or Fantasy Sports Champion, we do have a connection to Trophy Smack. When you use our promo code, the Alliance Blog, we do get a commission for that. So that would be awesome. Or if you need some energy drinks, we're proudly sponsored by Dubby. You could join us and get Dubby and get your own energy. I'm drinking Dubby right now. Beach and Peach is the way to go. Big Energy Tears is also a favorite. Bobby Batista reminds everyone you can also follow us on social media. We're at the Alliance Blog on almost all platforms, at the Alliance Blog. So thanks so much for joining us this Tuesday. Enjoy your power, and we'll see you at the matches. Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.